Hello, team. Line Warcast. You see the title. You know what this is. Someone Said That My Nickname Sucks is playing Norther. We're going to refer to Someone Said That My Nickname Sucks as nickname from now on. They are in the top of the map and they are blue this game. And Norther is in the south, ironically enough. Wow. Starting off with a good joke. Okay. Someone Said That My Nickname Sucks is going to go for two quick factories. We can see what the map looks like. There's this massive right side of land that is big eco, two cities over here. And the left side of the map looks like this, a very cute little land bridge on the left side of the map. We'll see if that comes into play at all. Three gases right here, very close together. We'll see how this goes. Norther is going 3 factory, 4 factory, and a barracks. We'll see what they're making. We have to go to their view. It's artillery for right now, and we can see the kind of plan for the expansion here on the entire South Island. And Nickname is following it up with a quick town and an airfield and a dock. This is kind of like feels like a signature play from Nickname at this point. Quick dock, get a transport boat out, and it's in fact missile ships could come in handy here to kind of go along the coast, and if there's any air that comes out of Norther, make sure that we can't, they aren't able to use it effectively. This kind of tripped me out for a second because none of the infantry are moving, but they're all capping, which is very efficient. 3 SAMs from Norther as a follow up after the immediate artillery. And we can see what Nickname is doing up top. I think this is a missile boat or a destroyer. We're not really sure what it looks like as it builds quite yet. But we can check the economy real quick, just as the immediate who is making more money. Nickname at 344 and Norther at 344. So we're both even. We can really kind of see who has the better economic expanding potential here. It's sort of anyone's guess in a sense, although I feel like Nickname will have a little bit of an advantage if they can get into these open fields quickly, and if Norther doesn't expand the right in time, Nickname might be able to get like a foothold on this right island and then just defend it. And then we'll see what the plan is from Norther. It looks like it's just a buildup of factory units right now, keeping up with the economy. Nickname, it doesn't matter. At that point, like the Nickname's pulled ahead a little bit at just over 400, but Norther should be able to. Yeah, I mean they're still capping. It's like these small little things, like they start to snowball. So I think it's kind of important to check the economy almost at all times. We can see that there's 2 squads of Nickname making it over to the right. So wouldn't be surprised to see like a barracks go down over there to help. Yeah, and look at that. Are we pro? Does this duck know? Or what's up? I swear we have not watched this replay before. We have no idea what's going on. And on that note, props to Nickname for uploading the replays. And in the Line War Discord, and they're not afraid to upload replays where they lose, where they win. So this really could be any result that we're about to watch. And these 2 players are top of the ladder. So props to both of them. And we'll see what we can learn from this game from the top Line War players right now. You can look at the lines that people make and kind of get an idea of what their plan is in their head, or rather, I feel like that's the case. So Nickname definitely wanting to expand to this entire right side, and it's all open field. So infantry move at their base speed, like without penalty over open area. But when they get into the mountains and the forest, they will go slower. You can kind of see like this tooltip. So 30% slower if you don't control the territory, and through mountains, I think it's even more. Yeah, 50%. So you can imagine if you spend a lot of your time capping through mountains and forests, it's not going to be as efficient as if you get the open areas. And we'll see if that comes into play here. Nickname has 521 income. Norther yeah, okay, it's very, very, very close. Nickname does have this city going for their first gas at this point. Norther does not have a gas, is building this dock. They do have a very safe gas back here, so it's not like it's going to be a big problem to get their gas up. And Northern's doing what I kind of like to do a little bit, which is get like a good healthy amount of SAMs just in case it's air, and dealing with these helicopters, or if Nickname had gone strikers or something. These are huge to have, and if you can keep them all game, then you can, you know, like you can get tons of value over time from these SAMs, this group of SAMs. Both players are going to, I mean, they both realize where the other one is at this point now that they've seen each other. So we'll see how, if and how both players respond to this situation, because once you realize where your opponent is, you can really do a lot. Like the whole game changes. You have to factor in the geography, the whole deal. These players are good enough that they probably already suspected that the other player was on the, you know, like north and the south respectively. These two artillery are just, this is very bold to say the least. Nickname's getting the helicopters in position to support this, and if you kind of do the dance with the helicopters so that they're not close to the SAMs, you can get a lot of value out of this, even though your opponent has opened up SAMs. But the second you start flying those helicopters over SAMs, they are in trouble. We can see, yeah, there you go. This makes quick work of these are two artillery with 3 helicopters like that. Would like to check the development on the map. There's another barracks going down for Nickname. They're going to cap this top side. That's a lot of econ. Northern is making their way through their side of the map, but you can tell like it is a lot slower as they move through the forest and the mountains. So many SAMs, but I love it. And this is the idea. Like if the helicopters can do stuff without getting hit by the SAMs, they're extremely effective. Nickname very smartly pulls them back at this point, though. You don't want to start losing them to SAMs. Northern responds with another factory, a second dock on the way. The ocean, I think this will actually come into play. Like holding the oceans, one of the worst feelings in this game is having a good thing going on land and then you lose the ocean battle, and it just ruins all your plans, because there's so much area. You can't be flying planes, you can't get transport ships across, you probably can't even get docks, because if they have the ocean, they'll just run up against your coastline and kill those docks and shipyards before they come into play. You can see how easily helicopters would die to SAMs. With just that, 2 SAMs easily makes a helicopter run away. We can check in on the econ here. Northern's at almost 700. Nickname is just over 700. Nickname puts down a second dock on the other side of this map now, like so that this body of water, they can start building ships in it. And they made sure to go for quick cruisers on the left side, just to make sure that if Northern had gone 2 dock or something, and they didn't go cruiser right away, Nickname would have a fighting chance to be able to get naval supremacy, which we've kind of mentioned is a little bit important, or can be rather. Yeah, Nickname's gonna get this entire north side, because there's no way Northern's gonna be able to get up to through this sweet little land bridge. It's so cool that the maps are procedurally generated, because you get weird stuff like that. Nickname is going for a push through the forest. I'm not sure how effective this is going to end up being. Of course, we have the benefit that we know exactly where everything is positioned, and Nickname clearly, does not, since they were playing at this time. But there's definitely enough here for Northern, and they won't be able to use their helicopters to help with these artillery. So we can see what both players are feeling. Northern's definitely going for a push up here. And this is exactly how I group my SAMs. So I'm very comforted to see that Northern's doing the same. You kind of just have circles of them on either side of the pushes that you're making, and then try to stay on top of their positioning. Nickname is developing this town, which you can see the 3 industry around that town. If they get all 3, they can upgrade that town into a city, which gives an enormous income boost. This is going to be kind of sketchy with the helicopters. We'll see how this plays out, because these SAMs are going to get in position, and they're going to ruin these helicopters if they're all able to fire. Although it might, if there's not, this is kind of hard to read this because there's no way the helicopters can stay for much longer. And then there's still enough on norther, like for norther on the ground that they'll be able to attack this infantry if it pushes too far forward. Because with 4 or 5 artillery here, that's not enough infantry to deal with it. We can check if there's any more development going on the map. I suspect that Norther's income is 836 and Nicknames is 917. Yeah, so Nickname is a little bit ahead on the econ game. If we can check if there's any more economic development by either player on the map, and there's not. A little bit of a navy for Norther here, building a transport boat now, so you'll imagine that they probably will go immediately to this big land mass. Maybe this bottom part, but I suspect they'll actually kind of move across a little bit north so they can get to like the, you know, the thicker quote-unquote part of this island. Nickname is going to start scouting with the boats and kind of getting all these naval territories. These trade routes could be big if they can be protected, although in the way the players are set up, that would be very difficult, I think, for Nickname or Norther for that matter to control either of their trade routes, but we'll see if either player is able to get that. This is Norther's first gas, yes, because Norther is out of gas right now, so we can see that no production on the gas, and they're totally out. Nickname is producing gas because they have this refinery in the north, and so they'll be able to keep flying these helicopters. And you know, it's things like these that make helicopters so effective because the SAMs aren't here yet. So we can see how many artillery pieces the helicopters will be able to get. We're at 2 right now. I suspect they'll probably be able to get 3 or 4. Can we get 5? Is 5 in the cards? No. No. It's the luckiest artillery ever. Nickname recognize that this is the map right here. This big choke. There's no way that we'll be able to play this game without having a big battle in the center here, I think. Because it's just too important. So they're popping down a barracks and a factory to reinforce this. We can see more development going up. Not sure what this is. Okay, it's a refinery. Right, these 3 refineries or gases that we talked about in the beginning of the game. And yeah, here we go. The 3 industry on this right side for Nickname. So this can be a city soon, and cities give you 10 territories worth of income. Right, so each territory on the map, these little squares, when you control them, they give you income. So 10 of those worth of income will be coming Nickname's way once that this town is upgraded to city, and we can watch that as time goes on. Yeah, we see that Nickname is getting in the north. Norther's expansions they're getting across here on the bottom right, so that's great for them. That's a really good play. To get more income, we can look at the income right now, and I mean, we can see that Nickname has a ton of money. They have 1,300 income, and Norther is 400 behind, and they don't quite have as much money. And this is where, for context, Nickname is very close to the top of the ladder, right? Like always in that top 5 spot, top 10 spot, whatever it is. Nickname will joke that they sometimes fall down the ladder, and like that's obviously natural, but when they have this income, you have to be careful because it can kind of snowball quickly. Norther is totally out of gas. When you're out of gas, your boats can't move because they're out of gas, and more importantly, they take more damage when they're attacked. So if Nickname has gas and has a navy, and you get on top of a bunch of boats without gas, you'll do more damage to them. So it's huge to be able to stay on top of your gas, and it's very difficult to do, really, when you have so many things going on in the game. Norther is getting a power plant, we can see, which is a generally less efficient way to get energy, although it still does, and it's a very valid thing to do. We can watch as this develops. Nickname actually has, Norther has an enormous force on the left-hand side here, and the SAM support to make sure that the helicopters of Nickname can't do anything. And as you see, they've kind of retreated because Nickname recognizes that the helicopters won't ever, they're not going to be effective here for a while because of the number of SAMs that Norther has. And if Nickname's not careful, this army is going to get sandwiched, and Norther's going to be able to push up to this pass and to these mountains. So this is quite a big moment here. Nickname has 1,400 income. Norther has 978. When we change the player's view to get what their income is, the viewpoint changes, so bear with us. This is definitely Norther's, and Norther's going to push all the way up to this barracks and this factory. There's no way you're going to be able to stop this unless Nickname nukes it, really, and that there's no way that they have a nuke. Okay, so we see that a city is going down for Nickname, so this is huge economically. And Nickname has already started the industry for this town, which so that they can turn it into a city. So although they're being pushed back now, Nickname will have and does have a huge economic advantage. Norther has just over 1,000 income, and Nickname has 1,400. So 400, I mean, it's quite large. Nickname also kind of has indirect scouting down here to understand that there are no docks, and just how far Norther's been able to get with their people. Yeah, Nickname is leaving this position, so they're going to dig in on the other side of this pass. This will be very hard to push through as Norther. Even though there's so much stuff, there's such a concave for Nickname here that as Norther's troops go through this pass, they're going to kind of get bunched up on each other. The artillery is going to get caught behind. It's not all going to be able to fire at once. So I think this is going to buy a ton of time for Nickname, and they'll likely be fine there. We can see that Nickname has the entire north of the map at this point. They have a garrison of infantry waiting at the refineries just in case Norther's able to like hit with commandos there. Say they took a transport boat and got some commandos landed here and then just kind of went behind enemy lines and tried to snipe a gas. But Nickname's on top of it, so it makes it much more difficult. Nickname is ecoing on the north. They know that there's going to be no real way for Norther to push this quickly and effectively, and as long as Nickname kind of reinforces this with artillery and the naval coverage, it should be fine. But Norther's making the move that they need to make, which they need to get this control of the water here, and if they can get these docks, that's huge. And Nickname knows that they're outgunned, because although these are all missile ships and destroyers, when it comes down to just numbers, 2 cruisers and the missile boat don't kill this, or if it does, that's news to us. But we can see that it doesn't, and one of the problems, Norther's playing this very well. They have enough missile ships that Nickname can't use the helicopters because they would just get shot out of the sky right away, and it would just be useless. So this is I'm interested to see how Nickname's going to deal with it, and what it looks like is they're actually going to just hug this coastline with only artillery, and the artillery will be able to hit these boats. The question will be if the boats can kill the docks quick enough, although this is such a protected dock. We see the missile pad. This is capable of launching a nuke in some amount of time. We don't know the build timer right off the bat, but in a few minutes, Nickname will have a nuke that they can launch right here. So we've casted so many of these games where we've missed nukes. We cannot miss this nuke. Cannot miss this nuke. You have no idea how much I want to make sure we don't miss this nuke, because it would just make me so sad if we go like 3 games in a row and we're missing nukes. This is a great play by Nickname. I think Northern needs to do this to try to get this dock, to really get the ocean control. But I don't think they might get the dock, but they're going to lose a lot of boats for it. It is important to kind of watch that, but we also want to look at the economic development and see like who has most of the map. We'll see where Northern's going. Some production on the bottom there. Nickname's going to be able to pick up on that and probably send things to deal with it. This is a big fight, and as we saw, that couldn't quite get the dock. That was hard to judge. I would have dove the dock too, and Nickname now these helicopters are able to get in, because you can imagine if both the docks were dead and then you could kind of post up a bunch of missile boats here, the helicopters wouldn't be able to do what they did, because it's kind of hard to get the SAMs in. You don't really want to push them through this pass. So it's a very hard task that Northern's kind of faced with because of this natural geography of the situation. Nickname's made another dock here. As we can see, they have a gas in the ocean that they can get, and I suspect that the economic picture is going to be highly in Nickname's favor right now. 1800 for Nickname, 1300 for Northern, which is actually pretty decent. We can see if there's economic development going on for Northern, and not really, but you know, it's okay. So we have a town over here starting to kind of chip away at getting all that industry, so that'll be huge for Northern if they can get that up. I hear commandos, and I feel like it must be Nickname who made, yeah, it must be Nickname who made commandos. Who else? Do you believe it? Nickname is very known for their commando use and very quite good with it. So that is the joke there. These two docks staying alive is huge for Nickname. Just enormous, really. And we can see if, yeah, so Northern's given up on the Navy. I don't actually mind that play. I don't mind that move. This is so, you know, this just screams nuke. So Northern kind of has to come up with a play here, or else they're going to bunch up all their units and then get super nukes. And, you know, that has happened to... I'd be lying if I said that didn't happen to us. It's happened to us many times. Myself, when I play this game. So it's like, I'm not sure what you could possibly do with this blob besides push it through the middle, and pushing it through the middle is not what you want to do. So it's a pretty big predicament here. Not quite. This might be a missile pad. I think this is a missile launcher. So see, Northern's got the right idea. Like, this is, I mean, because look at this. You could argue for this nuke being used on the other side of the pass. Unfortunately for Northern is that Nickname has beat them to it. So Nickname will drop a nuke first. Presumably, given that. Nickname's moving all these infantry down the left side, and this will be huge because Northern could start sending stuff down to the left, but there's no real reason why you would, and you certainly don't want to be moving artillery that far, or rather that's what it feels like because of the speed. And Northern knows that this has to be push time, and it looks like that's what they're doing. Right, we can get an idea of what the plan is from Northern. They've unfortunately given up most of this right side of the map, because you can see the production wise, well, Northern has enough production on the bottom to kind of make a fight of this, but because the economy is just so much in Nickname's favor, if Nickname wants, they could just put a bunch of production over on that side and push back. Northern's eco is almost at 1300, Nickname is at 2000, so you can really see that this is starting a little bit to snowball. Nickname has the city in the top right already. They just play quite quick. There is a bit of artillery for Northern. That's a great call. There is one factory for Nickname, so we'll see how the artillery down there on the right side accumulates and see if Nickname is able to push it. This nuke is almost done. They just need to put the little cute top on it, and then I'd assume that is going to go right here. I can't imagine there's any other nuke spot that you could possibly want. You can see the range of it on this. Yeah, it has to go right here. The range of the nuke spot is this kind of green bluey line. Nickname has tons of gas. We'll see what Northern's gas is like. Both players have control of the gas. This Navy engagement is going on, and this looks good for Nickname because cruisers are so good against boats. The cruisers use a ton of gas, but they are very effective just in one-on-one engagements against other boats, as long as there's no air attacking them. So Nickname is kind of just grouping, and what I assume is going to happen is they're going to drop this nuke, and as they drop it, they're just going to push through the center, because all of this is going to go away. We'll quickly check this. Yeah, Nickname is going to be able to do a lot down here in the bottom left. We really need to make sure we're looking at this nuke because we promised we wouldn't miss it this time. Come on. Is it going to happen? Nickname's so rich, by the way. 2 grand for a nickname. Norther has not as much money. This is going to be devastating, and I think this is probably going to be a turning point in the game. This is a tough situation for Norther because there's not really much you can do. Like, you kind of have to push through the center at this point. There are not... Oh, there's enough Whoa. There's enough SAMs. Oh my gosh. That, like, kind of changes things, because if Norther can get this nuke off, and we'll see if there's enough SAMs for nickname. Oh, wow, that was really cool. Can you imagine that nuke is, like, 10 feet off the ground, and it's like, no, it's fine, we shot it down. Don't worry about it. We can see on the right side, this is a lot of artillery for Norther. And, okay, so this is the strength of helicopters. I mean, strikers could do the same thing if you got an airfield and you were able to ferry the new striker, or rather an airstrip, and you were able to ferry the strikers from the airfield to the airstrip and then get them down here. But it's so much quicker to just be able to move choppers, since they have unlimited range in some sense if you micro them across the map. This is going really well for Norther. They now have enough boats, they have enough cruisers that they're going to be able to push this back. We've seen what happens when they push all the way back to the docks, but it's still a big win for them to be able to push that far. So on the right side, as we see, like, these helicopters are just going to be able to go to town on this. These subs for nickname are going to be huge. I assume they're going to be able to snipe these docks, because submarines are stealth units in this game. So unless you have a destroyer boat or enough boats around it, or units in general around them to detect them, you won't be able to see them. So and there's no real indication of what submarines are attacking your docks besides you just seeing that there is damage being done. This is a very interesting fight. It would be great if Norther was able to get a foothold there, but I don't suspect that they're going to be able to. This is, of course, still just an enormous stalemate. Really would love to see this nuke from Norther and see if they can pull it off. Because if they can, it's huge. So someone said my nickname suck is almost at 2,200 income. Norther is 1,000 behind. Okay, here we go. Here we go. This is, I think, Norther's only real shot at winning here. And we're going to see if the SAMs of nickname can actually shoot this down just like Norther's did. And I think the answer is no. I lied. Okay, I didn't lie. You know, sue me. Okay, well, Norther can push this to win? I can't imagine what nickname's reaction to that was. That was not ideal. I actually thought there was enough SAMs after what we saw Norther do. I thought that nickname was going to be able to shoot that down. This is still kind of good for nickname, I actually think. Because their economy is just so much stronger. Like, Norther has 1,200 income, and nickname has 2,200. Like, if nickname were to put down 6 factories here, that might not even be the play, because this is such a naturally strong choke for nickname. Like, how on earth is Norther going to be able to push through that? And I assume down here, this is a huge landing of commandos, by the way. You kind of saw that in the picture. We didn't mention it, but this is their nickname's going to be able to snipe this gas. They're going to be able to get on top of the production. So that is a great counterplay to this moment. I don't know why we heard the low gas sound, because neither player is missing out on gas. Another nuke from nickname, and I guess this is actually, yeah, this must be why Norther ends up. Does Norther lose this? Must be, right? Holy cow. Those missiles look really good, I think. I don't know. I think that was done very well, the animation on that. Yeah, see, that killed enough of the stuff that Norther is just now going to be in trouble. Because I think over time, yeah, nickname's cleaning up in the bottom right. They're also pushing in the bottom left. They're developing this with production and probably soon to be eco. These commandos are just, there's no way that this artillery is going to be able to push these commandos. But the problem is, I think nickname will end up pushing through the center then. because all this production, if it's going to the left for Norther, it's not going up the gut, and it needs to be in order to, you know, push against Nickname's production. This is a very close naval battle. I don't think... I think Nickname has an upper hand with this 5th cruiser showing up. There's no air cover for Norther, unfortunately. 2 airfields going down for Nickname within striking range of pretty much everything that Norther has. I mean, as we can see, like the range on this. The blue is where strikers and fighters can get to. Red is bombers. We'll see what Nickname builds out of them. I think anything is probably a fine choice. And we can look at the income, and you know, this is an RTS that is economy based, so the income is going to be a huge indicator of who might be able to get an advantage and who produces more. So this gets cleaned up. Northern's able to get rid of this navy, which is a huge win. Although you can feel the thing kind of crumbling with Nickname already this far up the left coast, this far up the right coast. Really only this left for Norther, and the commandos are going to get on the production, and they will. Nickname's going to slowly be able to push the center. We'll see if they are. They are for sure pushing through the center. You can kind of see the lines to understand, you know, like we said, what the player's plan is. And I think this is probably over very, very soon. This is the last hurrah for Norther. I love that this is it. I mean, this one will land, and it will do a lot of damage. That is a ton. But I think Norther knows that even though that happened, it's still not gonna work. But props. Those were some big nukes. I'm so impressed that Norther shot down that first one. That must have been just the closest thing. Feet away from hitting the ground. Or meters, of course. I mean, I would say meters. This is a Canadian Duck, spoilers. Anyway, GG. We don't actually see who won the game, by the way, in the replays, but we have to assume that this was going to be a Nickname win, and it was a Nickname win. So, well played to both players. GG. Thank you for tuning in and watching the video. We have tons of other casts, and, you know, props again to Nickname for putting this in the Discord. And props for not always putting in replays where they win, which is a huge part of this. So if you want more Line War action, come join the Discord. There's a Q2 tournament going on the weekend of like the 16th to the 19th of June. I stream Line War, so do others. Follow the category. Come drop by, say hi, and enjoy, you know, the night, evening, day, whatever it is. Have fun. GG. Enjoy.